everybody. Good evening. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Caroline Dunn. I am president this year of the Wireless Technology Forum. And I wish you all a warm welcome. And I'm going to make a few announcements, and then I'm going to bring up Bob McIntyre, and we're going to kick off this really great panel session that we have planned for you tonight. Let's see. Okay, so first the good news. We're having a drawing tonight. We've got some really great prizes to give out tonight. So we have a Gear VR to give out tonight, along with a couple other, thanks to Ninja VR. We couldn't do this without, of course, our association sponsors, and especially tonight, AT&T hosting our meeting for us. So let's take a minute to thank our association sponsors, AT&T. Yay, everybody, all the AT&T people. Stone Resource Group, and Stable Kernel. So thank you. Our sponsors that make a year-long commitment. So tonight we had two meeting sponsors, Baker Donaldson and Creek. All right, thank you, meeting sponsors. And as I mentioned previously, our meeting host tonight, AT&T. Thank you. I want to take a moment to thank our industry advocate partner, GSMA. And of course, our community partners. We are partnered with TAG, Technology Association of Georgia, and Metro Atlanta Chamber. Thank you very much. My pitch is, please join the Wireless Technology Forum. All right, if you work at AT&T, you are already a member, and you can enjoy all the benefits of membership of the Wireless Technology Forum. If you are not working at AT&T, this is the best deal in town. $99 a year for all of our meetings. This year we're having 11 meetings with booths and great networking of people in the wireless and mobile technology space. So this is a great deal. Please join us if you haven't done so already. It's just $99 for the entire year. Our next event, please come back, and we'll be back in our usual spot in the perimeter area at the GSMA building. Is Thursday, August 18th, and we are doing the coming cyber war battlefield, IoT, wearables, and sensors. So please come on Thursday, August 18th. All our meetings are on the third Thursday of the month. And then September, we've got September lined up already. September 15th, third Thursday, seamless travel experiences enabled by wireless technologies. And we've already got all of our panelists and our moderator lined up, IHG, Triplingo, Delta, and Hospitality Upgrade. So it's going to be a really great panel in September. All right, so now I'm going to bring up Bob McIntyre to introduce our topic. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for all your work putting this together.
Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, the topic tonight is how does AR, VR, and AI impact the enterprise today and tomorrow? And this is a hot topic, so I thought we would bring together, since this is the global center for the world, we're going to bring together the key innovators. And at the end, I will also help hand out the special prizes. And again, thanks to AT&T for all the effort they've done to put this together, to pull together their global partners. So with that, I would like to introduce our moderator for tonight, Matt Walsh. And Matt's got over 20 years of experience across multiple business units in AT&T. And he's currently the Director of Business Development of AT&T's IoT Solutions Group. So he's going to be running tonight and manages strategic partnerships with some key players in the wearables category. We'll hear a few of them tonight. So Matt, take it away.
Good to have you, Matt. So I've been instructed not to hold the mic like this. And so, again, my name is Matt Walsh. I'm the Director of Business Development in the IoT Solutions Group. My area of focus is pretty broad. I cover wearables for both consumers and enterprise, mostly for those devices that would not be distributed in our own AT&T distribution, but that includes AR, VR products that would benefit from that, and then also cover the drone segment, so both on the consumer and enterprise segment for enterprise businesses for AT&T. So this is a really interesting category for us overall. We think that, especially on the enterprise side, there are immediate benefits and opportunities for AR, VR in the enterprise space. When you look at this space, information is key to the success, right? So delivering that information real time, being able to get that information back, and analyzing it real time is all very important. So whether you're, playing Pokemon Go, whether you're working within Boeing and dealing with some very difficult schematics as it relates to wiring an airplane, connectivity is a very important element of those solutions. So I'm really excited. I'd like to thank the Wireless Technology Forum for having us out and having this topic. We have a great panel today. You'll hear from folks from IBM, you'll hear from Intel, you'll hear from APEX, and then you'll also hear from Georgia Tech. So I think it's a great panel that's going to provide some really interesting opinions on this space. So with that, I'd like to start by introducing Maribeth Gandy from Georgia Tech. Maribeth?
Thank you. There we go. Okay, so don't worry, I'm not going to show you a bunch of slides and go on and on. But real quick, as I explain kind of who I am, I was going to show you some slides that maybe can provide some context for our discussion for the rest of the session today. So I've been doing AR and VR research for a long time, relatively speaking, so 18 years or so. And so when I started doing it, no one cared because it was, $500,000 worth of equipment and we're rolling computers around in wheelbarrows. But we could come up with ideas of how to use this technology, and we could test them and experiment with them. So there's this whole body of knowledge that's waiting to be tapped by the commercial interests that want to do things with AR and VR. So it's been around a long time, obviously. I think people tend to think of VR, they remember VR when it was hot back in the 90s, but AR has been around, since the early 90s as well. So I briefly was going to just kind of point out some of the domains that I work in with my team at Georgia Tech to help us think about all the different aspects of AR and VR systems. First, don't forget that there's all these different sorts of interfaces and displays that can provide an AR or VR experience. Right now we're excited about the head-mounted displays because they're finally cheap enough that people can buy them, but it can be done with projection, on physical spaces. It can be like large screens. It can be, like little monocular displays, handheld devices, etc. And those interfaces can also involve things like smart textiles. And we have to be able to evaluate these systems, especially for very practical uses like in industry. I need to be able to explain to a company why they need to invest in this, and not just because, it's cool, but no, when you deploy this AR solution, like in your factory, you're going to get this real return on investment. This is a topic that came up already as I was having informal discussions beforehand about authoring tools, because there's all this cool technology, but we got to be able to make applications and experiences that use it. And if it takes a year and you have to program in OpenGL and C++, you're not going to really get anywhere. So there's a lot of work needed in different kinds of tools that fit with different domains, different workflows, different existing tools depending on the industry that you're in. Matt kind of already mentioned that it's not like there's one killer app or one domain that AR or VR is most appropriate for, because it's really just about presenting information in a different way. Instead of presenting it on a screen, you're presenting it, in situ, in the environment. And so you can imagine all kinds of applications, from the military to entertainment to education, training, etc. And so I'll finish really quick with a little plug, because I'm also the director of the Wearable Computing Center at Georgia Tech. And if you're interested to know more about wearable computing, we have a really amazing exhibition about the history of wearables that's up at the Museum of Design Atlanta right now. So anyone can go see that. And we're going to have a panel series over the next couple of months on different domains: health, industrial, fashion and textiles, et cetera. So you can go to our website if you, wcc.gatech.edu if you want to know more, or talk to me about it afterwards.
Next, we'll move to Intel, Chris Croteau.
Well, no. So I have contributed my time to the other panelists for slides. In the interest, I had a boss that started the wearable group, Mike Bell. You guys may have heard of him. He's known in the wireless industry a little bit. Mike believed that every slide, every PowerPoint slide you looked at took 5 minutes off your life. So rather than take 15 to 20 minutes off your life, I'm going to contribute my time to the other panelists. You can hate them for it. And I will just move on. Just to introduce myself, I'm the Director of Business Development and the General Manager for our wearable computing group, specifically focused on head-mounted displays. So if you got a chance to see some of the demos, you've seen the Recon Jet, one of our products. We've got a number of things in development. Some I can talk about openly or semi-openly, and some I can't. But suffice to say, I've been in the segment for a little over 3 years and excited to have a vigorous discussion about AR and VR and putting crazy things on your head.
That's great.
All right, so I'm going to take about 25 minutes off you guys' life, so, and blame him. So anyway, so I'm been really interested in AR for many years. Kind of like you, it's long before it was viable to be able to do. So we've been working in IBM around AR in our research teams, and a lot of this work that I'm going to show you tonight is from our team in Haifa in Israel. But there's several different things that are happening, not just the cost of the technology, but there's kind of this perfect storm of a lot of things going on. The Internet of Things is providing a huge amount of data that hasn't been available as easily as it's available today with the volume of data that's there today. The availability of analytics and sheet forms and be able to use them through cloud services or whatever is allowing us to take a lot of that data we're collecting and turning it from data into insights. And those insights can then be made to improve the projects, whatever you're working on. The ability for us to from a consumer perspective, I mean, it's timing this thing's perfect with the Pokemon Go stuff. I mean, Pokemon Go is going to get people so comfortable with AR-ish like things, right? Everybody's probably played with it a little bit now, but I mean, it's just superimposing magical things on top of real data. And so all those things have kind of come together. So a couple of things I want to talk about here. We've done some work around what I call a hybrid expert. You can use it in so many different ways. You can use it in manufacturing to understand what's going on the lines. You can use it in industrial space to be able to look at a pipeline and instantly see what what direction the flow is, what the pressure is, all those things around that. You can look at it to know, don't touch here. Right, so you've got a worker safety is a huge thing today. I mean, how many lawyers are in the room? Okay, good. But when you look at a worker safety perspective, the cost of any lawsuit today is massive. So the ability to prevent any worker issues at all, especially death, is huge. And if you start thinking about the types of things you can do with AR and wearables and everything around it, there's a lot of things we can do there. So for the sake of time, I don't want to take 10 minutes off your life on that one. Let's see how my skills are here. So this is an example of what the guys did with a tablet type device, but they're actually pointing it at things in the room and remote controlling those things in the room. So they're not linked to them, there's no wires to them or anything else. The system is actually looking and understanding what it's looking at, and therefore it knows a set of commands that can be appropriate for that, and then using an Internet of Things type play, it's then dropping the actions on them. So easy to do there. This is another one I like, cognitive shelf management. Again, kind of AR around it. If I look at a shelf, there's a lot of requirements around how you display merchandise. You have to have it in certain forms. If you think about being able to look at that shelf, you can see inventory of what's on it. You can see are things in the right positions. You can drive orders automatically from them. But just being able to look at that shelf and automatically know what's going on with that shelf through an AR type approach. Here's another one I like. This is looking at a car. and let me look at the features that are available on it. And so one of the examples we talked about here is think about if you saw this neat car going down the road and you just pointed your phone at it and up popped up and told you exactly what kind of car it was, all the features on it, where you could go buy it, everything about it. So it's a form of advertising AR in the sense of being able to augment what's going on there.
And then last but not least, we have Andrew with APEX.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so you've already been looking at the slide for about 30 seconds now. But so APEX is a little bit smaller, right? It's not IBM, it's not Intel, it's not Georgia Tech. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you about who we are, what we do, and why it's important. So I'm with Apex Labs. I'm the Director of Partnerships, which means that I run our ecosystem. And at Apex, we create the enterprise software for wearable displays. And we're actually moving out to wearables as well, but more on that later. So we've been in the industry for about 6 years. And when it comes to the industry, 6 years is actually a pretty long time, right? And so I've been with Apex for 5 years, and a lot has happened in the past 5 years. So we're talking about huge companies out there, Fortune 1000, Fortune 500 companies, taking AR applications and actually implementing them and making them into real deployments. And so one of these deployments actually, it was the Accenture KPN implementation, won a Global Award at the previous MWC. So thank you to GSMA for that one. But the interesting thing, so Jim, you mentioned it's the perfect storm. That's really what it is right now, right? So all these companies, they've spent their time doing pilots. Now it's all coming together in these successful post-deployments. And so here are some of our marquee customers, as well as, it's not just about the customers, it's also, as Director of Partnerships, I'm proud to say that our ecosystem is amazing too, right? Everybody in the AR space is coming together, we're working together. Even if we are competitors, it's all about moving this space forward. So a little bit about where we stand in terms of AR, VR, all these different terms, right? So APEX, we produce something called Skylight, that's our software, and that's in the realm of what we call assisted reality. So assisted reality is the difference between assisted reality and augmented reality, a true AR, is that it's more of a heads-up display. So let's say you're working on something, a motor, and you go on information. You see that information in a heads-up manner. So instead of having it as an overlay, you get that information in that little tiny screen. And that's really all you need right now. And I just want to reiterate this. This is real. This isn't like science fiction. This isn't something that people are saying, oh, you know what, it would be an awesome idea. This is something that people are actually doing right now. And so that's the difference between assisted reality and true AR. Which, you know what, it would be great to get to true AR someday, but right now the first step is assisted reality. And last slide, this is the last slide, we're going to talk about Skylight. So Skylight is our software platform. It does two things really well. It does remote assistance, so the ability to come or talk to a remote expert. So let's say you're out in the field, you don't know how to do something. There's a camera right on your display so that you can call back to a remote expert. They can see what you see, and they can help you out in real time. And the second thing that we do really well with Skylight is step-by-step instructions. So on this screen, you can get instructions about how to fix your motor, how to do different tasks. And these are images, text, videos. And that makes it so that all of your beginners are now at expert level. And with that, it's not just about the features, it's all about what Skylight unlocks and what AR unlocks. So we've actually seen upwards of 30% increase in productivity. It's not just about that, we're also talking about reduction of error, right? Deaths in one case. But we've also seen reduction from 3% down to 0% error. That is huge in manufacturing. And so that's what APEX and the rest of AR is trying to do. We're trying to improve people's lives. Thank you.